Hey folks, Sam Basu here from Uno Platform. Let's talk about the much debated designer to developer workflow. And this can be complicated, as we all know. But with the right tools and with contextual AI, you might be set up for a better chance of success. So if you're a .NET developer looking to build modern cross-platform .NET apps with beautiful design, let's talk about design to code with Uno Platform and Figma. So let's jump in. I'm here on Figma.com, and if you have the luxury of working with a designer, they are more likely to be choosing Figma. This is, a very powerful tool for designers to build out an entire design system. It's not just about a single app or a screen or layout. It's about everything that makes together a design system: your fonts, your typography, your color palettes, your rounding, your UI components. Everything together is what makes up a design system. And your designers are more than likely to be using Figma as their canvas, either on the website or in the desktop app. Now, once your designer has worked on a beautiful design for your app, could be mobile, web, or desktop, now it's the developer's job to recreate that same design in code. And if we are manually typing up our UI markup code, as we all know, that can get very tricky to be able to recreate a beautiful design entirely in code. Another problem is you want this workflow to be bidirectional. It's not about the designer creating a design one time and handing it off to you, the developer. It's about going back and forth. And so the designer should be able to tweak the design system, and you should be able to catch up in your existing working app while you're building it out. So this is where designers are, and you want to honor their work as you're building up your cross-platform apps. So let's take a look at how tooling can help with Figma. So first up, I'm going to start over here with Uno Platform. I think this is the best way for you to build modern .NET cross-platform apps. Everything is open source, and you can see how we start you off with a single shared code base, and your C# and XAML is shared across, and it works everywhere on iOS, Android, Windows, macOS, Linux on desktop, embedded systems, and web with WebAssembly. So you are covered from the get-go with a very mature ecosystem with lots of tooling around to help you out. Now, if I head over here to Uno Platform Studio, you'll see that we take a lot of care in design to code. We think about this quite a bit, and there are a couple of aspects to this. First up, let's talk about this from two angles. One is tooling, and secondly with AI. But let's start with tooling first. This is our Uno Platform for Figma plugin is the one that we're talking about. So we want to be able to look at a design and generate C# and XAML code that is pixel perfect. So you don't have to spend much time. You already get code generated that is honoring the design that you already have. So take a look at this. There's a lot going on. We give you a couple of files that help you get started with templates and stuff like that. There are some videos about it as well. So once you get into this, this is called the Uno Platform Figma plugin. So it's out there in the Figma communities. Look it up, and then you can try this out. So once I get into this, this is the Figma plugin, but what I have loaded up here is a material toolkit that we offer. And that is really the only way for you to get started with our Figma design to code generation. So once I open up this toolkit, you will notice that this has a lot of things already thought out: your colors, your typography, how should you organize your projects, your templates, and all of the UI components. So if I go into components here, these are all the UI components that we have a one-to-one mapping. We know exactly when you do a button or a drop-down or a combo box, we know the corresponding Uno Platform UI components to render. So when we generate UI, you just have that much more confidence in what we are doing. So all types of UI is kind of well thought out here. There are some nice templates for you to get started, but the one that I really like is an example app. So this is kind of an app where I think I had it in a second tab, just to open a little bit more zoomed in. So what this gives you is an idea of what an app could look like if you started with this toolkit. And again, if you want to customize the color palettes, you can do all of that. So you can go into assets, and you can search for buttons, and you can see all of the UI components that you want to customize are right there. So have at it to customize this toolkit, but start from here. It's a great starting point. So this one here gives you a look at what a modern app might look like in Figma design. And again, it starts out with the mobile first, but they're also responsive. So the same designs can also work in larger form factors like desktop or web. So what I like doing here is just to see what this toolkit essentially does. So this is figma.com, and for the developers like me, this can get a little intimidating. It's not difficult, it's just a lot going on. So take your time, understand the docs. If you are going to be spending time with Figma, understand what each of the parts of the system does. But I'm going to open up what's called the Figma plugin here. So let's go into plugins here. It recognizes that I've used the Uno platform before. And what it's trying to do is load up this plugin screen. So let me move things around a little bit more so I can have things side by side. So I'm going to select a frame here. That's what it's asking me to do. Let's do this one here. And when I refresh, what it's trying to do is the Figma plugin wants to load up that particular layer, that particular selection of my app in Figma with design. Now, we are wiring up a couple of things here for you. This is actually a fully interactive app. So this is a collection of sneakers and other types of sportswear, which is great. I get tabs, I get colors, I get everything out of the box. I can switch between light mode and dark mode. And then I can see how this is being wired up. So this is some of the sample data that you see, right? So this is just stuff where, just so you have some imagery and some, actual text to play around with, we, wire it up. And then you can see like all of the components that are in use. And if I tap on this one here, I don't have the Figma Pro license. So it's just telling me, hey, you have a limited number of exports, but I'm going to walk past that. So what you get here is for that particular screen that we just saw that was interactive, here is all the XAML, and this is pixel perfect. So if you were to recreate this screen in your Uno platform app, you get exactly the XAML that you need. You just copy and, whichever ID that you're using, Visual Studio, VS Code, Writer, you just drop it in and your screen will immediately look like exactly this, right? And it's not just XAML. For those of you, if you want to use C# as your markup language, we give you that too. So again, this is pixel perfect. Anytime your designer goes in and changes something about the design, you can come back and re-export the code. And again, the point is to give you absolutely pixel perfect XAML and C# in response to Figma designs. So that's a great place to start. And then I can copy it over to whichever existing or new project that I want, and I can get going. So this is the tooling side of things with Figma. Design to code is well thought out, and I can work with a designer who can create beautiful designs, and I get very nice XAML and C# code to work with all of that UI in my Uno platform app. Now, let me show you a different stance of this. Now, let's just say you are a modern developer, which you obviously are, because you are living in the age of AI. What can AI do with any of this, right? So we have Figma, we have beautiful designs in Figma. How can we bring it over to a modern cross-platform Uno platform app and be able to borrow some of those design artifacts and recreate some of this? If you were to not use the plugin, how can you still benefit from the Figma designs? So that's where the thing that really shines is Figma's MCP server. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Think about it as like a common language. So AI agents and models and your proprietary systems can all talk to each other, and you can give AI a lot more context in what it's doing. So Figma exposes a lot of it of the design surface and the canvas and the details through MCPs. There is a remote MCP server, or there is a desktop MCP if you're running Figma on desktop. So take a look at this and see how you want to get started. For remote servers, there's a very easy way. So this works across any ID that you're using. So if you're in VS Code, if you're in Cursor, if you're in Cloud Code or Visual Studio, they have easy setup guides. So go ahead and do that, and then that's going to bring up Figma's expertise and details, the design details, into whichever app that you're using. Now, if you are building a .NET app that's cross-platform, we can help out as well. Uno Platform has its own MCPs. Again, same way, we have a remote MCP and there is a local MCP. The remote MCP knows really well about our docs and how to initialize things. There are some tools in here. And then the app, local MCP is the one where AI has, eyes and hands. It can actually interact with your app. It can take screenshots. It can click on buttons, type in text. So you just have a lot more confidence when you're using AI agents with Uno Platform MCPs. So what if you combined Figma MCP with Uno Platform MCP and try to get this design to code thing done a little bit more easier? So again, I started here with the material toolkit. I really like this particular login screen. So let me zoom in here a little bit more. So that login screen is the one that I really liked. And I would like to create this login screen in a .NET app without having to use the plugin. Can I pull this off with AI? So the really nice thing with Figma is every node that you see in this tree, every layer can be easily shared. So, I can open this up in dev mode. I can, copy, I can, look at each selection, and then I can hit this share button. And in this case, you get a link that's essentially pointing to the design. So I wanted to take that link and see what I can do with it. So first thing is I went into my terminal, and I'm going to zoom in here. I essentially said, let's create a new folder called Uno Figma. I'm going to use the .NET new Uno app, which is the most basic command line prompt. It just gives you an empty Uno Platform app with nothing in it. Just says, hello, Uno Platform. And then I open it up in code dot. So I'm using VS Code. So let's look at this app inside of VS Code. Now, before I go into building stuff with it, and I actually don't want to write any code, I want AI to do it for me, just a couple of things to note here. So if I go into my settings, you'll notice that I have the Figma MCP stuff already wired up. So that's pointing back to Figma. And essentially, if you want to do this globally, then you can look up MCP user configuration. That is just an mcp.json that is sitting in your home directory where VS Code is, and that is where it's pointing to the Figma MCP server. If you want to do that on a per platform or a per app basis, you can just drop that MCP file, JSON file in that code project, and you'll have the same experience, right? So we have that. We know that Figma is wired up. And since this is the Uno Platform app that we created from command line, it already has access to the Uno Platform MCP. So we got two sets of MCP tools, Figma and Uno Platform, now working together. So Figma is all loaded up, and Uno Platform tools are here. So I did not want to write any code. So let me show you what AI can do. So all of this is done completely with AI. I am using the GitHub Copilot agent with Cloud Sonnet. If you want, you can switch up the large language model to something that suits you better. So you can keep it automatic as well, but I'm using Sonnet. So first up, I wanted to see if my AI agent has access to the Figma tools. So first question was, do you have access to the Figma tools? And it reads the mcp.json and says, yeah, I can look up the design context. I can take a screenshot. I can do metadata and all of the other things that Figma offers. Now it's asking me, would you like to create any of these in your, or use any of these MCP tools in your Uno Platform project? Well, I mean, of course I do. So I'm saying, hey, please look up the details in this Figma design. Now this is the URL of the exact selection that we have in this login screen. I want to recreate that login screen with C# and XAML, except I want AI agents to do it. Now, there is a lot of things in this login screen. Even though it looks simple, it actually has like a gradient background. It's using certain color palettes, and it has different states for the text boxes and the buttons, and it's using the material toolkit. So it is complicated, and all those are the details that really matter, right? So when I ask the AI agent to look up these details, it's going to go and run these MCP tools. That's the Figma MCP tool right there. So it's getting the design context, and it's getting the screenshot. You can see a glimpse of that screenshot that it got from the MCP tools. So it's saying, hey, I see that this is the mobile login screen. These are all the UI elements in the screen. Oh, and by the way, I do see that it has a color palette, and I see it has a typography. Would you like me to recreate this in my Uno Platform app? Well, of course. So next up, I say, yes, go ahead. Make sure you're replacing what I have in my main page.xaml, which was empty. Put a login screen in there. Pay attention to color palettes, typography, and other design variables. And again, our toolkit will give you, that auto layout that you're expecting. So your design system is nicely broken out. And then you have Uno Platform MCP tools. So I'm saying, make sure your responses and your actions are grounded in Uno Platform docs, and you're validating the UI with our MCP tools. So, the interactions. So off the agent goes, and it generates a whole bunch of things for itself to initialize itself and know the rules of the game. And then it goes about getting work done. You can see like it's invoking Uno Platform MCP tools like the docs search and the docs fetch, because it's trying to do the right thing in here. And it's replacing my UI with whatever the login screen needs. Now you'll notice that it has a material theme, like the design has it. So if I go into my code and look up the CS proj, it actually brought in the Uno Platform Material Toolkit right in here, because it realizes that design has material things in it, so it's best to use that UI toolkit. So it's very smart at doing all of this, and eventually we are going to say, let's run this app, right? And you can see like it's getting screenshots, it's getting the visual tree, it's validating what it has generated before it actually says I'm done. So shall we go ahead and run this app? Again, I have not changed a line of code in here. I don't want to, because AI is good enough. So let's run this on desktop here really quick. And it's going to do a quick build. And it also have hot reloads. So, as you change up things, as the UI agent changes up code, you can actually have the code be fired up and looking at, the app updating itself with UI. So you'll notice that I have hot reload wired up here. So that means any changes that I make here in the design surface and my ID, the code always stays in sync. Now, take a look at this versus the Figma design that we had. That is pretty darn accurate. Like on first pass, without anything else, it's gotten the colors, it's gotten the rounding, it's gotten the fonts. Everything looks pretty darn good. And again, this is you as the developer. Now, if I want to tweak things, I can go into hot design. And now I have more of a canvas where I can, have a custom agent who can tweak more. Or if I want to go into design mode, I have access to a huge, library of UI toolbox. I can look at the visual tree. I can select each individual element and I can edit properties in there. And I can see how this app looks like, maybe in night mode or in dark mode. I can see how the app looks like in, on a mobile device versus a desktop and so on. So a lot of help here from the tooling side. But we are, beyond any of this, if I get out of hot design, so this is the app that we get from our GitHub Copilot agent working. So a couple of things that it has, and again, look at how close it has gotten it from a mobile design standpoint. It's got the material toolkit. Everything is pretty darn accurate without me writing any code. So the reason it's able to pull this off is two things. One, it's using the Figma MCP server, and it's pulling all the design details in, and it's looking at the screenshot, and then it's using the Uno Platform MCPs to say, how do I exactly create an Uno Platform app? I have the right contextual documentation. I'm going to use the right toolkits and verify what I have done. So what you have here is a beautiful synergy of, either tooling that really works for you, that is the Figma plugin with Uno Platform, or if you want to use all up AI, then look at Figma MCP, look at Uno Platform MCPs, but there's a lot of help here to make that design to code workflow a multi-directional thing and truly seamless. So you can, honor the designs that have been created in your app code and, iterate on this as the designer is changing things, as the developer is working on things. You have a lot of options. So that's it from me. Just a quick look at how to really benefit from the right tools and design to code with Uno Platform and Figma. Like I said, lots of help with the plugin and with AI. So use the right tools, use the right MCP servers, and you'll be off and running doing design to code. And have fun with it. We cannot wait to see what you all build. Hopefully you have a designer to work with. That's how we create amazing looking user experiences and UI. So have fun. And thanks a lot for watching. This is Basu from Uno Platform, and hope you have fun with your design to code journey. Thank you. Bye.